If you clicked on this video, and a name that begins with the letter C appeared in your mind right now, pay attention. This was no coincidence. This video reached you at this exact moment because there is a movement happening in your love life that you perhaps have not yet fully perceived. That person whose name begins with C, the one who marked you, who left a void that no other presence has managed to fill, is closer to you than you imagine. And I am not speaking of physical proximity. I am speaking of something deeper, an energetic reconnection that has already begun to happen, even if you have not spoken for weeks, months, or even years. In the next few minutes, I will show you why this reunion is taking shape now, what signs the universe is already sending you, and, most importantly, what you need to do so as not to sabotage this reconciliation that could completely change the course of your history. Stay with me until the end, because the final revelation of this video will leave your jaw dropped. Before continuing, I need to ask you a direct question. In the last few days, have you been thinking about this person in a different way? Not that common, automatic thought that has already become routine in your head. I am talking about something more intense, a memory that comes out of nowhere while you are in traffic returning from work, a dream that seems too real, a song that plays on the radio and takes you directly to a specific moment you lived together. If this is happening, you need to understand one thing. It is not your mind playing tricks. It is this person's energetic field reconnecting to yours. Science has already proven that the human brain processes information at levels that go far beyond rational consciousness. The HeartMath Institute in the United States demonstrated in published studies that the human heart generates an electromagnetic field that can be detected meters away. When two people have shared a deep emotional connection, this field does not simply dissolve because they separated. It remains, like a radio frequency that was never turned off. And when one of these two people begins to vibrate at a frequency of longing, regret, or a desire for reconnection, the other person picks it up. That is why you are here now. But let me tell you something you might not be expecting. This reconciliation that is coming is not about returning to what was before. Pay close attention to this. The biggest mistake people make when there is the possibility of a romantic reunion is wanting to rescue the past exactly as it was. And the past, let us agree, did not work. If it had worked, you would not have separated. What is forming now is something different, something new, built upon the ashes of what did not work out. And this is much more powerful than any soap opera romance, because it is real, it is mature, and it is transformative. Now I know you might be thinking, but does this person also feel this? Is it not just me? This doubt is natural, and I will give you a clear answer about this in a moment. But first, I need to show you something fundamental that explains why this movement is happening precisely in this phase of your life. There is a concept in Jungian psychology called synchronicity. Carl Jung, one of the greatest scholars of the human mind, described synchronicity as meaningful coincidences that do not have an apparent relationship of cause and effect, but which carry a deep meaning for those who experience them. You clicking on this video is a synchronicity. You thinking about this person with more intensity in recent days is a synchronicity. And if I tell you that this person is also going through something similar, you will understand that there is a greater orchestration happening around the two of you. Let me give you a practical example, something that perhaps has happened to you. Imagine the following scene. It is an ordinary Tuesday. You are at home after a full day, washing the dishes or watching something on television. Suddenly, for no reason at all, that person comes to your mind. It is not a passing thought. It is a wave. You feel it in your chest. You feel a longing that almost hurts, and at the same time, you feel a strange peace, as if something were saying that everything will be fine. You pick up your cell phone, open WhatsApp, look at the person's profile picture, and decide not to send a message. You close the application. But the feeling does not go away. 2 days later, someone you did not expect mentions this person's name in a casual conversation, or you find an old photo that was kept inside a book, or you dream of them in such a vivid way that you wake up with your heart racing. This is not madness. This is not neediness. This is the universe moving the pieces of a board that you cannot yet see in its entirety. And I am going to help you see it now. If this video is making sense to you so far, I need to ask you one thing. Leave your like now. This simple gesture helps this content reach other people who are also going through this moment. And subscribe to the channel if you are not yet subscribed, because every week I bring revelations like this that can transform the way you understand the cycles of your life. Now let us get to what really matters, the concrete signs that this reconciliation is underway. There are 5 signs that I will reveal to you, and if at least 3 of them are present in your life at this moment, you can be sure that the process of rapprochement is already active. And look, it is not I who says this. This evidence crosses both studies of relational psychology and ancestral wisdoms that have survived for centuries precisely because they work. The first sign is the most subtle and the most powerful. You have begun to heal. It may seem contradictory, but true reconciliation never begins with the other person. It begins with you. If you have stopped to think about what happened between the two of you with more maturity, if you can look back without that hatred, that resentment that previously seemed unbearable, this is a gigantic sign. Psychology calls this emotional elaboration. When you can revisit a pain without being destroyed by it, it means you have grown. It means you are at a different level of consciousness. And it is exactly at this level that reconciliation becomes possible. Because while you are trapped in resentment, the energy you emit is one of repulsion, of distancing. When you begin to heal, the energy changes, and the other person feels this, even without knowing how to explain it. The second sign is that you have been feeling a different restlessness. It is not common anxiety. It is not that day-to-day nervousness. It is a kind of presentiment, a feeling that something is about to happen, but you do not know exactly what. Many people who go through this process report that they begin to have difficulty sleeping, not out of worry, but out of a kind of expectation that is not rationally explained. The body knows before the mind. The spiritual traditions of Brazil, especially those of African matrix, teach that the body is a receiver of messages from the spiritual plane. When your body is restless for no apparent reason, pay attention. Something is arriving. The third sign is the most objective of all. Paths are crossing again. Perhaps you have started frequenting the same places without planning it. Perhaps a mutual friend has started talking about the two of you again. Perhaps you received a notification on social media, a like, a story view, something apparently insignificant, but which carries an enormous weight. In the digital age, these small gestures are the modern equivalent of when someone passed in front of your house just to see if the light was on. It is a way of saying, I am still here, I still think of you, but I do not know how to take the next step. The fourth sign will take you by surprise, because it does not directly involve this person. Have you noticed that other areas of your life are organizing themselves in unexpected ways? Perhaps a job opportunity arose out of nowhere. Perhaps a health problem that worried you began to improve. Perhaps your relationship with your family is more harmonious. This has a powerful spiritual explanation. When an important reconciliation is approaching, the energy around you begins to harmonize as a whole. It is as if the universe were tidying up the house to receive something big. Pay attention to the details of your daily life. If things are flowing better around you, even in areas that have nothing to do with love, this is the stage preparing for what is to come. The fifth sign is perhaps the most disconcerting. You feel the presence of this person even when they are not around. I am not talking about imagination or fantasy. I am talking about that physical, concrete sensation that someone is thinking of you. Have you felt this? A sudden heat in the chest, a shiver that goes up the back of the neck, an inexplicable urge to smile in the middle of any moment of the day. Eastern traditions call this connection by an energy thread. Umbanda and Candomblé speak of spiritual bonds that transcend the physical plane. And quantum physics, as incredible as it seems, also offers an explanation. The phenomenon of quantum entanglement, in which two particles that were once connected continue to influence each other mutually, regardless of the distance between them. If this happens at the subatomic level, why would it not happen between two people who shared something so intense? And here comes the part I promised to tell you. Yes, this person also feels it. I know this is the confirmation you most wanted to hear, and I am not saying this to please you. I am saying it because there is a logic in this process that is both spiritual and scientific. When two people have shared a genuine connection, the kind that goes beyond physical attraction, the kind that touches the soul, separation does not break the bond. It only puts it to sleep. And when the right moment arrives, when both parties have gone through the necessary growth, this bond awakens, and it awakens in both at the same time. The spiritualist tradition calls this a soul pact. Deep psychology calls this an archetypal bond. The name does not matter. What matters is that it is real and it is happening to you now. But I need to be honest with you at this moment, because this channel does not exist to sell you an illusion. It exists to give you clarity. And clarity sometimes hurts. This reconciliation that is coming carries conditions. They are not conditions imposed by me or by any person. They are conditions of life itself, of the very process of evolution through which the two of you are passing. And if you do not understand these conditions, you may lose this opportunity. So stay with me, because what I am going to reveal to you now is the key to everything. The first condition is that you need to let go of control. I know this is difficult, especially for those who have already suffered a lot in this relationship. When we suffer, the natural tendency is to want to control everything so as not to suffer again. You want to control when the person will get in touch, what they will say, how things will happen. But life does not work that way. The universe has its own timing, and when you try to force this timing, you delay the process instead of accelerating it. A research study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology showed that couples who reconciled in a lasting way were those who allowed the reunion to happen organically, without pressure, without ultimatums, without games. Letting go of control is not giving up. It is trusting, and trust is one of the highest vibrations a human being can emit. The second condition is the most difficult of all, and I know many people will want to skip this part, but do not skip it. You need to truly forgive. Not that lip service forgiveness, the kind you say to appear evolved on social media. I am talking about the forgiveness that happens in your gut, in the depths of your chest, the kind that truly sets you free. Forgiving does not mean accepting what the person did. Forgiving means deciding that what happened will no longer have power over your present. In Brazil, we have a very strong culture of holding on to resentment. We hear phrases from childhood like, "I forgive, but I don't forget," or "He who does it once, does it again." And these phrases, as much as they seem like popular wisdom, are anchors that hold you in the past. As long as you are tied to the past, the future cannot enter. I know you might be wondering now, how do I forgive if what this person did destroyed me? And I answer, forgiveness does not happen overnight. It is a process, sometimes slow, sometimes painful, but always liberating. It begins with a decision. You decide that you no longer want to carry this weight, and every day, every moment in which the resentment tries to return, you repeat this decision. A study from Stanford University demonstrated that people who practice conscious forgiveness show a reduction in cortisol levels, the stress hormone, and an increase in activity in brain areas associated with empathy and emotional regulation. In other words, forgiving is not just good for the soul. It is good for the body, for the mind, for your health as a whole. When you forgive, you are not doing a favor for the other person. You are freeing yourself. The third condition is that you need to be whole. Not whole in the sense of being perfect, no one is perfect, but whole in the sense of being present in your own life. If you are at this moment living exclusively based on the hope that this person returns, you are emptying your own existence. And an empty existence attracts no one, much less someone with whom you want to build something real. The most beautiful reconciliation happens when two whole people decide to walk together again. Not out of neediness, not out of fear of loneliness, but by genuine choice, by a love that has matured. Now I want to tell you something that happened to a person who follows this channel. She sent me a message a few months ago reporting a situation very similar to the one I am describing here. She had separated from a man whose name begins with C, Carlos. They were together for 3 years, had an intense relationship full of ups and downs, and separated after a fight that, according to her, was the final straw. She spent almost a year trying to move on. She started therapy, went back to taking care of herself, resumed projects she had abandoned during the relationship, and when she was in the best moment of her life, without expecting it, without looking for it, he appeared. He sent a simple message, one of those that seems unpretentious. "Hi, how are you? It's been a long time since we spoke." And from there, things unfolded in a way that she herself described as magical. Today they are together again, but in a completely different way. She said it seems like they are two new people living a new love. And that is exactly what I am saying to you. What is coming is not a repetition of the past. It is a new version. Write in the comments now the initial of the name of this person who came to your mind since the beginning of the video. It can be just the letter C. I want to see how many people are living this same moment. And if you want to share a bit of your story, know that your comments help other people who are going through the same situation to feel less alone. Now pay attention to what I'm going to tell you, because this is perhaps the most important part of the entire video. There is a specific period that is opening in your life, a window of opportunity, and it will not last forever. I am not saying this to scare you or pressure you. I am saying it because it is the reality. Moments of energetic alignment between two people are cyclical. They come and go, like tides. And when the tide is high, you need to be ready to sail. If you let it pass out of fear, pride, or insecurity, the next tide may take much longer to arrive. Astrology, for example, has mapped these cycles for millennia. And even if you do not believe in astrology, it cannot be denied that life works in cycles. Cycles of plenty and scarcity, cycles of proximity and distance, cycles of pain and healing. You are entering a cycle of rapprochement now, and it is necessary to honor this moment. What does this mean in practice? It means that if in the coming days or weeks this person gives any sign, however small, you cannot ignore it. I am not telling you to throw yourself in head first without thinking. I am telling you to be receptive. Answer the message. Accept the invitation for coffee. Answer the call. Do not let pride speak louder than your heart. In Brazil, we have a popular expression that says, "God helps those who wake up early." And in this context, waking up early is being attentive to the signs and acting when the opportunity appears. And if the person gives no sign, if the silence continues, then I tell you the sign could be you. Sometimes the universe is waiting for you to take the first step, not a desperate step, not a declaration of love by text message at 2 in the morning, a simple, genuine, honest step. Something like, "I was thinking of you and wanted to know how you are." This phrase, said at the right moment, can open a door that seemed locked forever. But there is a fundamental caution here. If you take this step and the response does not come or comes coldly, respect it. Respecting the other's time is one of the greatest demonstrations of love that exist. And here it is worth remembering something that spiritual masters of various traditions teach. True love does not trap, does not suffocate, does not insist beyond the healthy point. True love opens space. And sometimes opening space means taking a step back so that the other person can take a step forward. I know you arrived at this video carrying something heavy in your chest. Perhaps a longing that seems to have no end. Perhaps a regret for things you said or left unsaid. Perhaps a hope that you are afraid to nourish because you have already been disappointed too much. I understand. And I want to tell you one thing with all sincerity. The fact that you are here, watching this video to this point, already says a lot about who you are. It says that you have not given up. It says that there exists within you a force that is greater than the pain, greater than the fear, greater than any obstacle that life has placed in your path. In Brazilian indigenous traditions, there is a very beautiful concept that we do not meet people by chance. Each person who crosses our path is a mirror, a teacher, a journey companion that our soul chose even before we were born. If this person whose name begins with C entered your life, left, and is now returning, it is because the lesson between the two of you has not yet ended. And this time, the lesson is not about suffering. It is about beginning again. It is about proving to yourself that you are capable of loving again, of trusting again, of opening up again, even after everything that happened. Modern neuroscience has confirmed something that spiritual traditions have always known. The human brain is capable of remodeling itself throughout life. This concept, called neuroplasticity, means that you are not trapped in the patterns of the past. You can create new neural pathways, new ways of reacting, new ways of relating. That behavior that destroyed the relationship the first time, that reactivity, that excessive jealousy, that difficulty in communication, all of this can be transformed. Not from one day to the next, but it can. And if you have already begun this work of transformation, even without realizing it, the path to reconciliation is already being paved. Think with me. How many times have you reacted differently in recent months in a situation that previously would have made you lose your temper? How many times have you chosen silence instead of a fight, reflection instead of an explosion? Each of these choices reconnected circuits in your brain. Each of them made you a person more prepared to live a healthier love. This is evolution in real time, and the person whose name begins with C at some level perceives this change. Because when someone truly transforms, that transformation radiates. It changes the way you speak, how you look, how you occupy space. And that attracts. I want to leave you with a final reflection that will accompany you far beyond this video. The most important romantic reconciliation that exists is not with the other person. It is with yourself. When you reconcile with your imperfections, with your errors, with your wounds, you become a magnet for true love. And if true love has the face of this person whose name begins with C, it will find the way back to you. It could be tomorrow, it could be a week from now, it could be a month from now. But it will happen. Because when two souls have a scheduled meeting, nothing in the universe is capable of preventing it. Before closing, I want to make one last request. Share this video with someone you know is going through a similar situation. Sometimes the message the person needs to hear arrives through someone they love. And if you want to continue receiving content like this, which unites spiritual depth with practical understanding of life, subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell. Every week I bring revelations that may be exactly what you need to hear at the right moment. Now close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath. Visualize this person's face. Feel in your heart the truth of what you have just heard. And when you open your eyes, know that something inside you has already changed. The intention has already been planted. And every seed, when planted in the right soil, germinates at the right time. I believe in you. I believe in this reunion. And I am sure that soon you will return to this video to tell in the comments that it happened. I will be here waiting for your story. See you in the next video. Take care of your heart, it knows the way.